Look, there's a saying in the army that if everything is a priority, then nothing really is. And so, I learned how to deliver complex information to a variety of stakeholders in a clear and concise way. If you don't know about ISPR, let's start with a little bit of information. This is PR 101. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel PR 101, and in today's video, I'm going to discuss my time as a PR intern in the Pakistan Army. First off, a little bit of background about me. I am the third generation in my family associated with the armed forces of my country. My father and grandfather served as officers in the Pakistan Army, and I served as an intern. My grandfather was commissioned in 1947, just a little bit before independence, and was one of the pioneering officers of the East Bengal Regiment. My father too was an officer and rose to the rank of captain in the Baluch Regiment of the Pakistan Army. My internship was with the Inter-Services Public Relations Directorate, also known as ISPR, within the Pakistan Armed Forces. If you don't know about ISPR, let's start with a little bit of information. The ISPR handles public relations for the armed forces of Pakistan and includes both military and civilian personnel. Based at Joint Staff Headquarters, it plays a key role in building national support for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The ISPR also seeks to serve and protect the reputation of Pakistan Armed Forces in both the local and international media. It regularly broadcasts news on strategic operations, key developments, and it's considered one of the most prestigious directorates within the armed forces. And here are the 5 lessons I learned serving as the PR intern at Pakistan Army. The first lesson I learned was the importance of clear and concise information. Look, there's a saying in the army that if everything is a priority, then nothing really is. And so, I learned how to deliver complex information to a variety of stakeholders in a clear and concise way. Stakeholders such as government officials, such as military personnel, such as the general public. The second thing I learned is that story mining is just as important in the military as it is in the corporate world. Look, Pakistan Army is one of the top 10 largest armies in this world. In fact, some statistics even put it as large as the 6th or 7th largest armies in this world. It's been around since 1947, which marks more than 75 years of excellence. It's fought in over 3 wars, with innumerable skirmishes on both the eastern and western borders. It's one of the largest contributors to the UN peacekeeping forces, and then naturally so, its women and men have some of the most amazing stories to tell, as you can imagine. It is the job of ISPR to dig out some of these most fascinating stories to tell its stakeholders. One amazing but very tragic story mining exercise that I took part in was traveling to Nadagal, which is a small village in the northwest frontier province of my country, and interviewing with the family of a soldier that had fallen during the Wagah-Attari avalanche. The Wagah-Attari snow avalanche was one of the most tragic natural disasters that had happened in my country. There was a snow avalanche that hit a Pakistan Army camp right up in the mountains in snow, and it covered over 140 soldiers and civilian contractors under ice. My exercise was to go with my commanding officer to the families of some of these soldiers. The one that I hadn't gone to in particular, which was a very tragic exercise, was in Nadagal.
अल्लाह ने जो किया है उस पर ऐसी आदमी सोच या बात तो नहीं कर सकता कि अल्लाह नाराज हो जाए। मालिक ने किया है ना। दूसरा फिर ये है कि उसने मुल्क के लिए और कौम के लिए अपनी जान दी है।
वो भी खिदमत करते हैं।
अगर ये हैं तो मुल्क है तो हम हैं।
The third lesson I learned was that communications often requires an integrated comms approach. What does that mean? For our corporate clients, we often combine owned media, paid media, earned media. Well, Army's PR works quite in the same way. The ISPR maintains active military websites as well as social media channels. They regularly issue press releases and social media posts on their social media channels, and they even hold media briefings whenever relevant. They also develop TV shows such as Alpha Bravo Charlie and Glorious Resolve. Alpha Bravo Charlie, as some of you may remember, was a show in the 90s. It was my favorite show growing up. and it showed life within the military. On the other hand, Glorious Resolve was a more recent production made by the Pakistan Armed Forces Inter-Services Public Relations Department that seek to inform both global audiences and international audiences as to the sacrifices being made by the soldiers and officers of the Pakistan Armed Forces during the global war on terror. Hello PR 101 fans. My wife and I, we explore the world sharing stories that impact us. Follow our adventures on Instagram at Siachen and the SNY Fly Adventurers Duo, where we document our best moments together. Join us on our next journey. See you there. The fourth lesson I learned is that collaborations are important. Well, you know how friends collaborate? Sometimes rivals do too. Have you ever heard of the Wagah border with the Attari border? Pakistan and India have been at war almost since their independence in 1947. They fought in over 3 wars. They continue to have hostilities to this day at the borders. There is tension. Every now and again, you'll find international headlines being made. However, both of these adversaries agreed to meet on the border every single day and have a dedicated contingent on both sides, dressed up in some of their most fanciful uniforms, military decor. And what they do is that they lower the flags in a very well choreographed, aggressive military drill. This drill is attended by hundreds of tourists and helps the economies of both of those local border towns. It achieves international headlines. It fosters really a sense of collaboration between two adversaries, and guess what? Collaboration isn't that bad in this situation, is it? And I think the reason why this is my favorite lesson is that it goes to show that sometimes good PR can even bring adversaries together in the interests that serve really both of them. The fifth lesson I learned was the importance of showcasing your challenges, your achievements, and your history. Military monuments serve as a public reminder to the sacrifices and to the achievements of armed forces in any country. But they also do 2 things at once. The first thing they do is they celebrate your past. We all know that. That's one of the reasons why military monuments exist. But another reason is that they serve as a reminder to the future generations as to the past glories that the upcoming officers and soldiers of an army have to live up to. All of these lessons tell you that PR is not only for corporations, it's equally applicable for governments, for militaries, really for any organization that you can think of. These are the 5 lessons I learned serving as an intern in the Pakistan Army's Inter-Services Public Relations Directorate. I hope they were helpful. If you like this, imagine what I do in the world of PR. Stay close, you'll learn how to play the game and beat it.